this Sunny Days, 305 Degrees podcast, where it's always hot in here and it's always sunny down here in Miami. So I'm your host, and I already introduced you to my co-host, my brother Big Sweet. He's not in the building right now, so I'm going to hold it down for the both of us. Hey, this is my incident with a CO part 2, and an incident that made me feel like I couldn't even protect my own children. And so, coming out on a visit, it starts off very degrading, because before we could go into the visiting part, we had to get stripped down, butt naked. And so we have a CO, they want to look at your hands, they want to look at your fingernails, they want to look in your ears, they ask you to open your mouth and look down your throat and hold your hands up and do all that stuff, and then they finally ask you to turn around. And so they ask you to turn around and hold your feet up, and then they ask you to spread your cheeks open. And it's not a quick thing, it's not a second thing. They open it up so they can look in it, looking all in places that you never seen before in your life, and you have to cough to almost that they can see your hemorrhoids come out. And so after coming out of that, I'm already kind of like reduced down to like the lowest common denominator of what a man is. And so I have to get my mind right to transition from that degraded place and then go out into a family that probably had been through just as much just to get into the prison. So I get my mind right, so I go out, I'm happy, I'm smiling, my wife is there, my 3 daughters is there, my mother-in-law is there, and then they give you one time to greet, so you can hug your visitor, you can hug them one time, and then after you hug them, you got to sit down, and they have to sit across you, and you can't touch them no more, period, until it's time to go, right? And so one of my daughters had came in the visitor park, and she had on a jacket, and she explained to me that she had on like a tank top, like a wife beater, and the CO didn't want to let her in, but he said as long as she kept on the jacket, she can come in the visiting park to see me. So I guess it got a little warm inside after a few hours. We having fun, we conversating back and forth, we smiling, eating snacks from the snack machine, and just having a great family visit. But it got a little too hot, and my daughter took her jacket off. And when she took that jacket off, man, that CO, man, he ran up to my daughter, and he pointed her in her face. I told you don't take off that freaking jacket. You gotta get out of here. You gotta leave. Then I told you don't take off that freaking jacket. And I'm standing there like I'm stuck. I'm like, oh no. I'm like, oh my God. And so my wife, she jumped in front of me because I'm launching at him. I'm about to make a move. And she said, no. My wife said, no, Sonny. We was about to leave anyway. We gonna leave together. And I'm telling you, man, like at that point, like when I think about this and I relive this, you know what I mean? It's kind of hard for me to talk about, and I don't know if a man have ever been in a situation where you felt like you can't protect your own children. And man, I thought about that, and I thought about that. And I was like, I couldn't get over it. I couldn't really get over it, right? And every time I seen that correctional officer, it flashed back on how he ran up on my daughter like he was an animal, like he was gonna kill her. And then as a man, I had to stand back and I couldn't defend her, and this is why, I continue to go get counseling every day, even though I've been out 6 years. I continue to go get counseling. I continue to talk about my traumas because it bothers me. And it takes me back to that same place where I couldn't even protect my own children. And so I say to my people, especially my young people, what kind of place, what kind of place, you know, that you want to be in, man, where where you can't protect yourself or protect your own children? And so I pray every day, man, and I talk to our children every day along with the Circle Brotherhood, man, to do all that I can to express the situation and things that they could go through, because you could go in the prison system with 5 years and end up with a life sentence. Hey, this sunny days, 305 degrees, where it's always hot, it's always sunny down here in Miami. Hey, if you got any children that's going astray, any children need some counseling, any children that's in the system, any children that need a mentor, hey, leave your comments below, and you can subscribe to my YouTube page at Albert Sonny Campbell. Like my page, hit the subscribe button, and press the bell anytime a new video come up. Hey man, y'all have a great day. Peace.